Hello everyone, the 13 Scale here, also known as Scale, and welcome back to more Stray Gods. So I was looking through the journal just to see. I do like this first track thought of could he have killed Calliope. Can't take anything for granted when it comes to these people. He says he didn't do it and that he was there mourning Calliope. I still don't know if I fully trust him. But I do like despite his abs and surfer dude looks, he's just some grandpa. So Apollo and I kind of danced after the party. There was this moment where I thought, are we going to kiss? Did I want it to happen? Is he interested in me that way? Can I be dating a Greek god? It's weird. I kind of want to go talk to him. And then we go confront Medusa, but I hope it doesn't expedite my days. Let's go. We will see. I just wanted to go talk to him. Hey.
It's good to see you again, Grace. Last we spoke, you mentioned that Pan had asked for a meeting. I take it you went?
He wants me to repay a favor by helping someone at a place called the Reliquary.
I already did this, though.
The Reliquary?
I already did all this.
Why would Pan send you there, of all places?
I
don't like the sound of that.
My cat's just crying. Why
Pan
is
said
that?
it was some kind of library. Is that not right?
It's
Well,
a
this has already
storehouse of
happened.
knowledge and magic, one that's normally off limits to most idols.
Will there be trouble if I go?
I went.
Probably, but it's also possible Hecate could help your search. I hate to say it, but you might want to risk it and then plead ignorance.
It's fine.
I did tell you we could discuss your memories and the Eidolon more in depth after the party. Did you have any questions, or?
Maybe both. How many times have you died?
How many times have you died? Can I ask that?
Well, we call it passing on, meeting the Eidolon, and it's fine. I've passed on 12 times that I can recall.
12.
So your name isn't really Apollo.
Most recently it was Lucas. Everyone Lucas ever knew is gone, however, so these days I prefer Apollo again.
That's fair.
Lucas? Seems weird to think of you as a Lucas.
Yeah, I wouldn't
It
think
was
that
weird
either.
for him, too. Much like yourself, Lucas becoming Apollo was somewhat of a surprise.
Oh.
Sounds like there's a story there.
Oh? Tell me about him.
Tell me about this Lucas. How did he become you? Or is it how you became Apollo?
Apollo had taken to surfing.
Oh, of course he had.
He left the city without permission and roamed the coast looking for... Well, I'm not sure now.
Yeah.
Whatever it was, he found it one night when
Oh.
a giant wave took him down. He was drowning, and I thought, this is finally it.
When some surfer dude
But
came
it
up and
wasn't.
saved him.
Lucas saw Apollo struggling and swam out to save him. He pulled us ashore, but it was too late.
Oh.
It took a long time to realize what happened. I didn't return to the city until years later. By then, everyone thought I was
Oh.
Apollo's chosen successor.
So no trial for you, huh?
It wasn't easy at first, without memories or anyone to guide me, but
Oh.
no, nothing like that.
Oh, the wind just picked up at my house. Oh my god. What if Lucas
Wait,
had
what would have happened if Lucas hadn't tried to rescue you? What if no one was there when you...
Yeah.
When I died,
Wind.
then the Eidolon of Apollo's line would have ended forever, I think.
You think?
Well, no one knows.
There have been stories about Eidolons that survive for a time and go wandering. That's probably all they are, though. Stories.
Yeah.
It's not something we've had much opportunity to study, but normally
I don't know why.
death without passing on is how an idol really dies.
Is it
Forever.
because they die away from everybody else? That's why?
When all these memories start to return, will I feel different?
Well, let's
I
see.
don't know.
It starts as dreams you'll have of places you've never been, people you've never met, fleeting images, feelings.
Huh.
Then they'll appear while you're awake. You'll be eating breakfast and suddenly recall when you last ate something similar in the 17th century.
Ooh, yeah,
The only
okay.
difficult part is that eventually it can be hard to differentiate between your life and all those other lives. They blend together.
Huh.
It does sound confusing.
Especially if you're not that person
A
really
little,
anymore.
Yeah. And not all the memories will be good ones. It can take time to process.
I still
You
remember
said
my
it
own.
becomes hard to differentiate your life from the others. How hard, exactly? It'll still be me, right?
Grace, would you say that who you are is at least in part due to your experiences?
Yeah.
I guess so, sure.
Well, you'll have a lot more experiences. They won't feel like someone else's either. It will feel
Aw.
like you did all those things. They will
Interesting.
shape who you are now, just as they shaped Calliope and all those who came before her. The good news is,
Interesting.
you won't get all the memories. Each time we pass on, the older memories fade.
Huh. How is fading memories a
Wait,
good thing?
how is it good that old memories start to fade?
We're many thousands of years old, Grace. If all of those memories returned with perfect clarity, you'd drown in them.
Like
Yeah,
Aphrodite?
but doesn't that mean you've all forgotten so much?
Yeah.
Tell me, how much do you remember from when you were a small child?
Bits and pieces, I guess. Not much.
Yeah.
It's the same for us. The further I try to think back, the more blurry it becomes. I remember the important bits, but little else. Some of the really old memories.
Huh.
There's so many mortal stories that get mixed up with them, things my previous selves learned as legends. It becomes hard to tell.
Yeah,
takes
what's
time,
actually
Grace.
you and what's not.
You'll remember all the lives you've led, but at a pace you can handle, and nothing more.
Huh. I guess that's all for now.
It's a lot to consider. Assuming I'll even have time to worry about it, what with the trial coming.
Yeah.
Hopefully this eases whatever concerns you might have had.
Yeah.
Anything else you'd like to discuss while you're here?
What happened to the
What
other
happened
muses?
to the other muses? You mentioned two
Yeah.
others. Were they lost in the war?
Cleo
Most
perished
recent?
centuries before.
Huh.
The victim of an obsessed writer she'd spurned.
Ooh.
He kept her in a cage as his personal muse.
Oh.
That's pretty dark.
It
Oh.
was. By the time we found her, she was already... Well, it's enough to say her captor didn't survive her for long.
Ooh.
Talia,
well, that's
however,
good.
was lost to us on the very last day of the war. We were about to leave on the ship, but she just never showed up.
Do you know what happened to
Talia.
her?
We never found out. I worried for years, even
Huh.
hired people to look, but as far as I can tell, she up and vanished into smoke that day.
I wonder if
The war
she
had ground her down.
died.
I was upset, but
Like, I
Not
wonder if she was
surprised.
killed by whoever killed Calliope.
Tell me more about the war. It seems to have had a huge effect on all of you.
Yeah.
I don't think we would have left the old world otherwise. It was home.
From
Yeah.
Aphrodite's song, I know Ares betrayed everyone. What did you do?
Yeah. Well,
I caused it.
what?
I foresaw what was going to happen, so I tried to prevent it. I told Ares. I figured if the god of war couldn't stop what was to come, then
Those often meet their
And
fate on the
that's
path
why
they
he
go to
betrayed
avoid it.
everyone.
he decided the idols were a lost cause. Because I told him we were.
That's why you don't like your powers. Could have happened anyway.
Surely it could have happened anyhow. It was a big war. The biggest.
Yeah.
Perhaps. We'll never know, will we?
No, which
My
is why you
time
should stop
afterwards
beating
was spent
yourself
helping
up.
the survivors, keeping us on the move. If Hephaestus hadn't intervened, we would have all been captured.
Oh,
And
Hephaestus.
he's...
Long gone.
Gone now, we assume, like so many others.
Man.
We are nothing more than refugees from a war long over, Grace.
Man. I really hope Hephaestus is still out there somewhere.
Was it hard for the idols to come to the new world? It's just a place like any other, isn't it?
That's different.
I don't think it was the place so much as the condition we were in. Shell-shocked, one might say. Our entire world had been turned upside down.
And that was proof when America
Suddenly,
became a
we
power.
had rules.
Yeah.
Secrecy was paramount, and no one was permitted to leave the city. Some, like my sister Artemis, couldn't abide it.
Yeah,
What'd
I've
she
heard
do?
the name.
Goddess of the hunt. And a wild thing herself. She left, I think. Faded away without
Maybe
a word.
they're just secretly out somewhere else.
As many did in the early days here.
Not letting them talk to their old selves.
Later, Athena became even more strict. For our own good, of course, but it hasn't been easy.
No.
This city has never felt like home, so much as a temporary shelter.
I don't blame you there. Yeah.
That's all I can think of for now. I'll see you around.
Of course. I look forward to it.
Yeah. Okay, it's still day 5. Let's go talk to Freddy. And then we can go move on to Medusa.
Hey, so what's the news, Miss Muse?
Oh, you're gonna
Miss
love this.
Muse.
This is gonna be wild.
Does a muse have a proper form of address? I just want to hear what exciting adventures you've been having.
Oh, it's
well,
nuts.
I stopped the goddess of love from killing herself, I guess.
Yeah.
Whoa. Do gods have interventions?
This is kind of what this
you know,
was.
they're nothing like I thought they would be.
Yeah.
Everything else okay, though? Do we know who the killer is yet?
No clue.
Not just yet, no.
Okay, well, let me know if there's anything I can do. If I have to hustle to become your high priestess, well, so be it.
My high priestess, huh? We'll go with that.
What are Kaz and Brian up to? You didn't tell them anything, did you?
No.
Oh, I told them you came home, that you're okay, but that you're having a moment. They send their love.
Should we
Aw.
tell them, do you think?
No.
What for? They have their own problems. Plus, Brian can't keep a secret to save his life, and Kaz is officially homeless.
Is he still
Oh.
crashing on Brian's couch?
Oh, all right.
Grace, you do know that Brian doesn't have a couch, right? Just some giant beanbag things?
That can't be
Then
good for
where
his
is Kaz
back.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Uh,
it's cute. They'll tell us when they're ready. But right now, it's best just to not mix them up in this.
I could kind of tell that they were together anyway. Sorry about the
I
band.
should really apologize about the band. This kind of puts a dent in your plans, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You're right, Grace. How dare you sabotage my dreams? I am so mad I could spit.
You know what I mean. Nobody could have seen this coming, sure,
No.
but it's always been something with me.
Yeah.
Well, as I see it, there are 2 ways this goes down. 1, neither of us gets back to the band. It was just a thing we did for a while before I founded a cult in your name. Or
Thank
2,
you.
we get back to it, and the band now has the Muse as its lead singer. Edge of Elysium becomes the coolest and most appropriate band name ever.
Yeah.
Ugh, I still really hate that name.
Yeah.
Look, Grace, you can't be the source of all the drama and name the band, okay? That's the rule.
Yeah, all right, sure. What do you know about the gods?
Exactly how much do you know about the Greek gods, Freddy?
Have you been looking them up more?
I know my Greek mythology, but what I've read clearly doesn't line up with who they are today. Or who they ever were, maybe.
Maybe you should tell
Still
her
might be
about
useful.
Aphrodite.
There's got to be some truth to those stories, right?
Maybe? Who do you want to hear about?
Apollo.
What about Apollo?
Okay, so the prophecy stuff checks out. Apollo was god of the sun and light, but also kind of enlightenment in
That's
general.
also why he caused
He's always talked
it.
about as this
I see.
beautiful and cultured god involved with the arts and the muses, kind of a Renaissance man before the Renaissance.
He's clearly had a rough time since those days.
Yeah.
Well, he was also a giant horn dog, Grace. I can list off like a dozen men and women Apollo has had as lovers, and there's probably more.
yeah.
Weren't they all like that, though?
Yeah.
I mean, Apollo's no Zeus. He never assaulted
Thank you.
anyone as a swan.
Thank you.
And no, they aren't all like that. Our sun god had a reputation.
Oh. Ask
Do you know
about
anything
Calliope.
about the Muses? Or Calliope in particular?
Yeah, for starters, there were supposed to be 9.
Yeah.
Though I guess there are some sources that said there were only 4, maybe 3. Each of the muses had her specialty. Did you know that Calliope is supposed to be the muse of epic poetry?
Huh.
She inspired the Odyssey.
Huh.
Wow. I don't even like poetry.
Yeah, it was said her singing voice was unmatched. So they got that part right, at least.
Well, that's good
Did
at least.
she also lead the ancient Greeks in giant choreographed dance numbers?
Yes. Yes.
No, but she
Yes.
once turned a bunch of snobby princesses into magpies, so there's that.
Hey, I'll take it. Ask about
Tell me
Persephone.
what you know about Persephone.
Honestly, she's the least like her stories. Usually, she's either a victim or just the wife of Hades, or both.
That's,
And that's
fair.
it? She was kidnapped by Hades, end of story?
Yeah.
Pretty much. Her mother was so angry, she created winter. But otherwise, Persephone was just your average sweet and virginal fertility goddess.
No, poor thing.
You're right. That doesn't sound like her at all.
Nope.
Must be hard to be defined by this one thing that happened to you thousands of years ago. I'd be pissed if everyone thought my story ended there.
Oh
Well,
yeah,
she
no
is
wonder she's
pretty
upset.
pissed.
Yeah.
That much is true.
Well, that and because she killed somebody, but hey. Ask about,
What
Athena.
Is she really supposed to be the goddess of wisdom?
And war strategy.
Sure. But mostly that's meant as tactical knowledge. Athena wasn't all sweetness and light. She was a warrior goddess.
Yeah.
She was also the goddess of heroes. There are loads of stories where Athena helps guys like Odysseus or Jason or Perseus.
No
Huh.
female heroes back in those days?
Nope.
Yeah, guess not. Women were the weaker sex, which maybe is why Athena was portrayed as being vindictive.
That's
She
fair.
cursed Medusa, one of her own priestesses. She turned people into spiders, struck them blind, started the Trojan War. It's
Oh
a
yeah, I
whole
remember
thing.
the spiders thing.
Not being as wise as
fate.
advertised is
Yeah.
on brand for her then.
God, what was that story about it? Oh. But turning them into spiders, and then they weave the tapestry of fate or something like that.
You said Pan was some kind of lust god, right?
Yeah, kind of.
Arachne?
Pan's a god
Yeah.
of the wild, and I guess that translates into sort of lustfulness and earthiness, humping nymphs in the forest sort of thing.
Oh.
And you don't like him.
No.
Honestly, he's exactly what I'd expect him to be. All the stories
That's
say he's a
why I
lich
think
and a
he's not.
beast. The Christians equated him with the devil.
Oh, all
Weirdly,
right.
he's also the only god who's supposed to have died, though it's never really clear how or why. Anyhow, there's a great statue depicting Pan having sex with a goat. Next time you see him, you gotta ask him about it.
That's fair. But yeah, I think the story in question was about Arachne. I've asked about the idols.
Just how many of these gods are there? From what I've heard, lots of idols live around here.
Yeah.
Well, there are tons of minor gods in Greek mythology, hundreds even, depending on how you define them.
Great.
Oddly, there's never any mention of the
Same with
word
Egyptian.
idols in relation to them. Maybe it's like how people worshipped idols?
I sort of assumed it was related to the Eidolon.
Which is a
Oh,
Greek
yeah.
word, but I think it means ghost. An image of someone after they die.
Makes sense.
Me?
Just thinking
I'm amazed at
idol,
all the
like,
big names missing.
New thing.
Not just Zeus and Hades, most of the Olympians seem to be gone.
Yeah.
Makes you think about what's been lost. But also, what might still be out there.
Yeah, that's true.
You think there might be other gods out there?
I mean,
Well,
I'm
for
sure
all those
Hephaestus
gods
is somewhere.
The idols say wandered off. We don't know they're dead for sure, right? They could be living it up in Australia. Who would know?
Yeah.
Then there are all the other mythologies, hundreds of cultures, each with their own pantheon. So what's so special about the Greeks? That only their gods are real, right?
Yeah.
And all those other pantheons could be living in secrecy, just like the idols.
Huh.
And that means they're hidden from each other, too. Oh, they could be everywhere and no one would know.
Huh. Yeah.
It's like a
she's
whole
right.
other secret side to the world.
Yeah, I like
That's
this.
cool,
Urban
right?
fantasy.
I hope I get to meet Ganesha one day. Or maybe Lakshmi?
All right, well, that's enough about the
I
mythology.
wonder how much of those stories are true.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I'm giving you the quick version. There are reams of textbooks out there covering all this.
Yeah,
but
with
even
perspectives to
they
boot
rarely
everywhere.
agree with each other.
Yeah.
Really? Nothing definitive?
No.
Ancient Greece was 3,000 years ago, Grace. Not much information survived all that time, if it was even valid to begin with.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know what I find weird? That the idols have managed to remain completely secret all these years.
Yeah.
Sure, they have magic and whatnot, but in all this time, nobody's found them out? Athena is that good?
Hey, man.
Who says nobody has found them out? The way I see it, it's like UFOs.
Huh.
Okay, I have to hear this.
Go on.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you could have real evidence that UFOs exist and that governments have covered it up, and
Oh.
people still wouldn't believe it. Why? Because they'd get laughed at if they admitted it.
Yeah.
Imagine the headline: Greek gods exist and are living among us.
yeah, that
What
wouldn't-
website would even run that?
Yeah, that's a good
Weird
point.
conspiracy ones. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Huh. All right.
Okay, that's enough questions for now.
You sure? I can talk all day. You know I can.
Yeah,
I'll check
well,
back with you soon, Freddy. Time for more mystery solving.
thank you. All right. Medusa it is. Guess we go. Come on, Medusa. Oh. But I should probably wrap up the episode because it's going to take a while. But at least we got some more backstory on our gods, and I know that it doesn't progress days further to go talk with everybody. But that's all the time we've got for this episode. So take care, everybody.